Welcome back everyone. Today we have a flail mower that needs a little bit of help. Now for those of you who don't know what a flail mower is, it's a type of mower that is typically used in the farming industry to keep fields short. You also might have heard the term brush hog used, which is slightly different than a flail mower. A brush hog uses two blades and is typically used to handle larger, thicker type of brush that needs to be cut, and it leaves a much rougher finish than a flail mower. A flail mower uses a drum with a lot of what are called hammers to cut the grass, and it generally leaves a much nicer and cleaner finish than a brush hog would. This particular flail mower is different because it is not a 3-point PTO driven flail mower like you would normally see. This device is actually a tow behind model. It has its own engine, which is completely separate from whatever vehicle you're towing, and it comes with a tow hitch mount, so you can tow it behind just your general garden tractor or an ATV. This allows people who may not have a 3-point tractor setup to mow a larger field much faster. So as you can see with this flail mower, the wheels aren't exactly in the correct orientation that they should be. They're both kicked out a little bit. And what I think happened is this design of flail mower has quite a different orientations that you can have the wheels go in. And what I believe has happened is in this particular orientation that the previous owner had the wheels in, this design allows for some brush or trees to get caught in between the mower and the wheel, and could potentially pull the wheel out, and in this case broke one axle and bent the other. The mower has a few different orientations. The wheel can be forward like this, it can be swung around and be behind, and I also believe, but I need to confirm, that the wheel can go back behind here. The orientation with the wheel behind the mower is the best orientation, as the wheel is riding in the cut path and is less likely to catch brush on the sides and bend the wheels like you've seen on this mower. So with that being said, let's get this mower up on some blocks and take it apart and find out what we need to do to fix it. Now that I have the mower up on some blocks, you can see how the wheels are actually supposed to be pointed. Not far out to the side, but pretty much straight in line. So it appears that the previous owner has done his own type of attachments to try to get the wheels to stick around so that he could continue mowing whatever he was mowing. He's got this ratchet strap and a bungee and a hose clamp over here, so we gotta take all this stuff off to be able to get the axles off. I'm not quite sure what's going on here with that.
Hey, you probably forgot to like and subscribe to this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss fun content like this in the future. Back to the show.
Alright, I've got the mower disassembled, and a couple things I wanted to show you. So first, I want to show you what an actual flail mower looks like on the inside. These are the hammers that I was talking about earlier. They've got a little wedge shape to them, so as they spin, this little hammer bit with this wedge shape will then cut the grass, and it gets a much closer cut than it would a brush mower. So this spins around really fast, and that's how it cuts the grass. All these flexible flails, hammers, spin around and they cut your grass, brush, whatever. The second thing I took a look at, to get this cover open, they have these little bolts. On top of the bolt, there is this aluminum arm, which makes sense. You know, you want this arm to swing, and so that you can get your bolt off, and if you're in the field, you're able to open this and get to the flails if there's anything wrong without any tools. It's all well and good, except this is aluminum, and it's spring loaded, so it's got this bolt on the top with the spring, and it's spring loaded so that you can get around the cover, because this arm will hit the cover. The problem is this is aluminum and this is steel, and the serrations on this bit are only about 3/8 of an inch off the top, so you're really not getting a lot of engagement between this steel bolt and this aluminum cap, which causes it to strip out. And that's what happened on this one. I tried to get it off, the other one was gone. I tried to get this one off, and it just stripped. The aluminum stripped in the cap. Doesn't even look like the serrations on the aluminum are very deep, so this won't work. I may try to get a bolt and just maybe weld a wing nut on top so that you can get it off with your fingers with the wing nut, and eliminate this complexity. So that's what I found with that. So now moving on to the axle. What they've done is, this appears to be just a piece of all thread, and it doesn't go the entire length through, which I thought it might. It's just welded right here. So they just took a piece of all thread, welded it on the end, and that's to get your axle. This axle is not bent like the previous owner thought. The weld just broke, which made it look bent. Not the best design in my opinion. I think they would have been much better off if they got a bolt with a nice shank instead of a piece of all thread, so that when the axle is riding on it, on this area, it's not getting chewed up by the threads. Also, what I found is the previous owner had the axle set up like this, and there is a spacer that goes on here, which I don't know why they just didn't get a bolt, make a special axle with a piece of thread. They could have easily turned down a piece of material that was this proper thickness and this spacing, and then put some threads on the end of it. Cost savings, I guess. So the previous owner had the axle set up like this. And while this is all well and good, this puts a lot of torque on the wheel, because the wheel is out here and it's pulling as you're hitting grass and all that kind of stuff. I think the proper way the previous owner should have set the axle up was like this, because this way you're having less, you still have a moment on this bolt here, but the wheel is just, it's behind it. It's more likely to not catch things, I'm guessing. The website says that this way is apparently better, or even this way is apparently better for smaller ATVs to tow this flail mower. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But the axle has these two alternating pieces for the mount of the adjustment for the wheel. So this seems to be the most common way to mount it. In my opinion, I think this is the best way to mount it, because you don't have anything sticking out, your wheels are rolling over what you've already mowed. Seems like the better opinion to me. I'm no expert, but that's just my option. This is how I'm going to set it up when I go to sell it. So what I need to do now is I need parts. So what I'm going to do is, this is a piece of 3/4 all thread. This is not the bolt I'm going to use, but this is a 3/4 bolt, and it just happens to be, if I stick this on the outside here, it just happens to be the right length. So what my plan is I'm going to get 3/4. I don't know if I'm going to get coarse thread or fine thread bolts. I might get coarse thread just because if this is sitting outside, it's a little better for less threads to get galled up when you're trying to take the axle off. But I'm going to get some 3/4 bolts, however long this is. This looks to be maybe about 4 inches. and I will cut this off and cut the one off on the other side, and I will take this bolt and mount it just like that and weld it, and I'll hopefully maybe be able to get 3 passes of welds with as high up as this is to have a good strong area that's welded to. And then what I'll take is I'll buy some spacers so that I can make up the difference between the head of the bolt and the end of the spacer where it needs to be for the axle to ride. So that seems to be what I think is going to be the best option to fix this mower. I thought about maybe cutting a section in here, getting the bolt through, and then welding the back, but that's going to be a pain, and then plus some more welding and grinding, which I don't need to do. This seems to be the simplest option, so time to get some supplies so that I can fix this mower. that's it for this repair of this flail mower. Axles are back where they need to be. I actually did mount them in the backwards position, so it has a little better of a chance of not being broken off in the future or bent. And that's all I've got for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.